Hey there, you looking kinda cute. Please consider subscribing and check out our Patreon for more. Enjoy the video. I was the second child born in our family, which had a total of 4 children. Our older sister, Brenda, was the only girl. She always hoped that our parents would have more girls, but that didn't happen. After Brenda, Michael was born, then myself, and finally, Monty. My dad didn't want any more children, so we were all they had. I knew my mom wished one of us boys had been a girl because Brenda felt outnumbered, even though she was the oldest. Every year around Christmas, our mom would take us to see Santa Claus. When it was Brenda's turn, Santa would ask, "Now, pretty girl, what do you want for Christmas?" Brenda always replied, "I want more sisters in our family." For the next 3 years, she would wake up on Christmas morning, run downstairs, and wait to see if her wish had come true. However, she was always disappointed to find no new sisters. Brenda kept asking Santa for the same thing each year. Eventually, she talked to our mom about it, who explained how long it takes to have a baby and that our father didn't want any more children. Brenda started asking Santa for more sisters when she was 5 years old, and she continued to make this wish for the next few years. She wanted more sisters because she was tired of her brothers dominating and controlling her home. Brenda was my mom's favorite, and we boys knew we weren't. My mom often said we acted just like our father. Brenda had a close bond with our mom. They did many things together, like shopping, cooking, and sewing special clothes for Brenda. Us boys didn't really want to do things with my sister, but I sometimes joined in. We would occasionally tease Brenda, but she always found ways to get back at us, especially enjoying tormenting Michael and Monty. Michael didn't want to spend much time with Brenda, so he mostly did his own thing. I grew closer to her because she knew I wanted to be a good brother. We used to play together, and sometimes I would pretend to be her child while she played mommy. I always knew she would be a great mom when she grew up. I remember the day we were preparing for our Halloween party at school. I wasn't sure what costume to wear. I didn't want to be Spider-Man, Batman, or Superman, and neither did my brothers. Michael wanted to be a cowboy, and that's what he dressed up as. Monty wanted to be a sheriff's deputy. I couldn't decide what I wanted to be until my mom and Brenda suggested I go as a girl. I figured it was just for Halloween, so it shouldn't be a problem. Little did I know how much this would change my life. My mom told me I needed to start learning some things. When I asked what I needed to learn, my mom said I needed to know how to act and behave like a girl, especially if I wanted to win the costume contest at school. I started to say I didn't really want to be a girl, but I knew I didn't have much choice. Besides, I did secretly wanted to dress like a girl. She told me it was just for fun, and who knows, I might even win the contest. The training began on a Saturday, about a month before Halloween. My mom said it was time to start. At first, I could practice dressed as myself, but eventually I would have to start wearing dresses and skirts. She taught me the proper way to walk like a girl. When I began to take a step, she stopped me and told me to take shorter steps. Brenda showed me how to do it properly, making sure each step wasn't too far and I walked in a straight line, giving a slight sway to my hips. Michael noticed and commented, "Oh my gosh, you're walking just like a girl. I think you want to be a girl, don't you?" He started teasing me until my mom chased him out of the room. We continued practicing until my mom was satisfied with my walk. Then I learned where to keep my arms when carrying a purse. I didn't like carrying a purse, but I was still wearing my boys' clothes, which was a relief. Brenda showed me how to hold my arms slightly away from my body, holding the purse strap. We practiced this until my mom was satisfied. After mastering the walk, we moved on to learning more feminine mannerisms and working on using a feminine voice. I began training to talk more like a girl than a boy. My mom advised me to start with a lower voice volume, just above a whisper, and to use a higher pitch tone. We continued this training with my mom correcting me whenever my voice wasn't quite right, as I read aloud from a book. She was diligent in guiding me until she was satisfied with my progress. After that, we revisited teaching me how to improve my posture while walking. My mom noted that my walking was satisfactory, but emphasized the need for practicing with a book on my head. She explained that I couldn't slouch while walking. I needed to stand straight as if a string was pulling me up. She instructed me not to let the book fall off my head while walking. My mom had me do this for a couple of hours as the book kept falling off. I began to wonder if I would ever be good enough to walk without the book falling. However, after many attempts, I managed to walk without the book falling off. My mom was pleased with my progress and told me I had done well. I was surprisingly happy about mastering this. Monty noticed my excitement and started to taunt me, but my mom quickly ushered him out of the room, telling him to go play elsewhere and leave me alone. Then my mom announced that my costume was ready. She said it was time to start wearing dresses and skirts. Brenda suggested starting with a skirt, allowing me to still wear my dress shirt with it. It felt like a compromise to me. I was half boy, half girl in my perspective. They also taught me how to sit properly. I learned to smooth out my skirt with my hand before sitting down, gently and with care. My mom emphasized the importance of being prim and proper. I responded to her in disbelief. "You're just kidding me now." But I understood the effort was part of the costume preparation. She told me I needed to learn this if I truly wanted to win the contest. She reassured me, saying, "Do your best so you pass well," but also reminded me that this was just for Halloween and that I wouldn't have to dress as a girl after the event was over. So I continued to wear different outfits, dresses, and skirts when I got home from school every day. My brothers teased me, of course, until my mom put a stop to it. She warned them that if they didn't stop, they would also end up wearing dresses and might even be sent to school in them. Imagining how their classmates would react to seeing them in a dress or skirt, my brothers decided it wasn't worth teasing me anymore and chose to do their own thing. You might be wondering what I did when people came over for a visit. Well, I was always in an area where I could easily hide, so nobody would know what I was learning from my mom. I remember it was my sister Brenda's birthday before Halloween. She invited her friends over, and I didn't have to wear a dress or skirt while they were there. Even though I wasn't in girls' clothes, I still had the training of how to behave like a girl instilled in me. I wished I could forget what I had learned, especially when I had to go outside to play and didn't want that training to show. Unknowingly, I did some things in a feminine way which my mom had taught me, and these behaviors became natural to me. Some of the girls at the party gave me stares, sensing something was off. I didn't know then, but they had asked Brenda if I maybe was gay. I didn't hear this because I had gone outside to play, wanting to avoid being around all the girls at my sister's party. Brenda and her friends played together for most of the day. In the evening, we had a barbecue hosted by my dad. I didn't help with the barbecue. Only my brother Michael did, as my dad thought he was old enough to assist but didn't want the rest of us near the hot grill. Since I was in the house, my mom asked me to help her with the kitchen preparations for Brenda's birthday. When it was your birthday in our family, you didn't have to do any chores, and Brenda loved watching me and Monty clean the house. My mom ensured we cleaned properly. We did the dusting, ran the vacuum, swept and mopped the kitchen floor, wiped down all the counters, and washed the dishes. Then, we had to clean our bedrooms and even Brenda's as part of our birthday present to her. Brenda and her friends decided to go outside as well. When they came out, we boys went to a different area in the yard to avoid them. However, my recent training led to some awkwardness, and the boys started to think something was wrong with me, noticing my odd behavior. They decided to play a game called Keep Away because they said I had cooties, just like a girl. I didn't find this fun at all and hated being told that I had cooties like a girl. Although they didn't explicitly call me a girl, they treated me as one, which I really disliked. I could tell from the expressions on my brothers' faces, Monty and Michael, that they were tempted to tell the others about my Halloween costume. But they knew the consequences from Mom if they did. So they kept silent, but it didn't matter because the other boys said they didn't want me to play anymore. They got bored of the game, and I realized I needed to just go into the house. I went to my bedroom, climbed into bed, and began to cry because of how I was being treated. Brenda followed me upstairs to my bedroom when she saw me go inside. Seeing me crying, she immediately came over and comforted me, saying I could always come to her. I explained how the boys had treated me outside and that they said I had cooties. Brenda suggested I stay in my bedroom and that we could talk later after she spent time with her friends and after my sister's birthday meal, cake and ice cream. She assured me of her love and acknowledged that I was the only one who wanted to spend time with her, even though I didn't really want to play with dolls or dress up. She playfully mentioned that I was cute doing it, which made me stare at her in disbelief. She reminded me that I was learning to be a girl to win the contest at school and hinted there was still more to learn. These thoughts lingered in my mind, wondering how much more my mom and sister were planning to teach me. My mom soon came into my room to ask what happened. I recounted the treatment from the boys outside. She asked if Michael and Monty had said anything about my Halloween costume, concerned that might be why the boys were treating me differently. I assured her they hadn't said anything. She then asked what exactly happened, and I admitted that my mom and sister had taught me very well how to do things as a girl. Now, I'm doing things so naturally. I don't even think about it before I realize what I'm doing. It's too late by the time I notice. When the boys saw me acting differently, they started thinking that there's something wrong with me. They feel uncomfortable around me and don't want me to hang out with them. My mom reassures me, saying I'm not weird and that this whole learning experience is only for this Halloween. She reminds me that I won't be doing this anymore and that I'll be back in my boys' clothes after the contest. Mom was right, of course. It was time for us to eat. Dad cooked hamburgers and hot dogs for everyone. Mom got out the potato salad, baked beans, chips, and watermelon slices from the refrigerator and pantry. Monty and I helped set the table with paper plates, plastic silverware, and napkins. After eating, it was time for the birthday cake. We all sang happy birthday to Brenda. She made the same wish she told Santa Claus about wishing for more sisters. Little did she know that her wish would come true this year as a Christmas gift. Everyone was curious about her wish, but she kept it secret. I knew she would tell me privately. Brenda admitted she enjoyed our time together and was happy that I was learning to be a girl. She even playfully thought of me as her sister for a while. I asked her not to tell Monty or Michael, fearing I'd never live it down. Brenda promised to keep it between us. She said it was great to have another sister, even if just for a short time. She listened and understood what I went through with the boys teasing me. I expressed my concern about them thinking that something was wrong with me, and how they didn't want to play with me because I did things like a girl, leading to the cooties accusation. Brenda reassured me not to worry about the other boys. She knew they were just teasing and that they were the real losers, not me. My sister tried to reassure me, comforting me in her arms. She said I was a special brother and wished that Monty and Michael were more like me. She appreciated that I helped her with daily chores discreetly, unlike my rambunctious brothers who never tried to assist her. She knew I was cautious because after being taught how to act like a girl for the contest, my brothers might tease me about it without acknowledging that it was just for the contest. Brenda understood that my brothers might even try to let others know about my costume at the school Halloween contest. They wanted to torment me, as brothers often do, she said. She noted that, unlike them, I didn't enjoy teasing her, which is why she never played pranks on me like she did with Monty and Michael. Then, Mom announced it was time to clean up the dining room table. Monty was tasked with taking out the garbage, while Mom told me to put the leftover food in the refrigerator. I scraped the beans and potato salad into containers, knowing someone might eat them later, likely my dad. When I went into the living room and began to sit down, I instinctively smoothed the back of my pants, a habit I picked up from my training. One of Brenda's friends noticed and whispered to Brenda, asking why I did that. Brenda pulled her aside and explained about my Halloween costume and how I would be going to the party as a girl. She told her friend that she and our mom were teaching me to behave as much as possible like a real girl to enhance my chances of winning the contest. Brenda believed that if I did everything just like a girl, I had a good chance of winning. She only told the girl about her brother's costume because she attended a different school and wouldn't be competing against me. After discussing it, it was time for us to go to bed. My sister then said goodbye to her friends whose parents were waiting outside. The girls left our house and returned home in their parents' cars. Upstairs, I reminisced about our school clothes shopping in September. We boys knew Brenda was Mom's favorite. It seemed like she was spoiled, but I never said anything because I cared for her and didn't believe she was actually spoiled. We hated shopping for school uniforms, but Brenda's shopping was different. She tried on everything, even items she wouldn't buy, making us wait. I remember she explained why she tried on various underwear and bras. She didn't discuss this with Monty and Michael, but felt comfortable telling me. She said I was the only one in the house she could talk to about such things. That night, I fell asleep and woke up to Mom announcing a trip to the beauty salon with my sister and her. It was my first time. Usually, the boys and Dad went to the barber shop. My mom instructed the stylist to give me a hairstyle that looked masculine, brushed one way, and feminine the other. Soon, we left the salon. Days passed, and it was finally Friday. After school, we began preparing for the Halloween party. Michael went to shave and dress in his costume first, followed by Monty in his deputy sheriff outfit. He didn't need to shave. Mom called it a blessing and did my makeup. I dreaded seeing my face with all that makeup. She taught me how to use pressed powder and lipstick, explaining it was necessary for looking good and touching up before facing the judges if I wanted to win the contest. When I asked my mom what she meant by needing to touch up my makeup, I wondered how I was going to do that. I couldn't exactly go into the boys' bathroom for that. My mom explained that it wouldn't be a problem because she had already made arrangements with the school nurse for me to use her bathroom, as I obviously couldn't use the girls' bathroom without causing issues at school. She had sorted everything out, so it was time for me to put on my Halloween costume. My mom led me to my sister's room, where my costume, one of my sister's dresses, was waiting. First, I was told to put on underwear and a bra. After that, Brenda showed me how to properly put on a pair of nylons, helping me pull them up to my waist. Then, my mom helped me with the slip, slipping it over my head, followed by the dress. My sister instructed me to step into the petticoat, which I didn't like because it made the dress puff out too much. My mom assured me the dress looked fine, but reminded me to sit properly and keep my legs together. She then attached earrings to my ears, put a pearl necklace around my neck, and sprayed some perfume on me. Declaring us ready to go, she handed me a white purse containing everything I would need. My brothers, already in their costumes, were waiting. We were set to drop Michael and Brenda off at their high school first, then head to our school. Mom told us she would be back at 9 o'clock to pick us up from the school and then collect my brother and sister from their school before heading home. As I got out of the car, I was nervous about how I looked and feared being recognized by other students. I was terrified to step out, but Monty reassured me that no one would recognize me and offered to handle anyone who gave me problems. This was surprising to me since he had never acted protectively before, and I wondered why he was doing it now. We entered the school, signed in at the desk, and received numbers for our costumes. I asked one of the ladies to pin the number on me, knowing I wouldn't ask Monty to do it. In the gym, I played games, ate snacks, and drank punch. Soon, it was time to judge the best costumes. All this time, nobody realized I was actually a boy. The girls, thinking I was one of them, pulled me into the line for the girls' costume competition. When I protested, explaining that I couldn't be in that line because I was not a girl, they were shocked and disbelieving. So instead, I joined the boys, all of us in costume. My brother Monty was dressed as a deputy sheriff. The judges began eliminating contestants one by one until it was just me and Monty left for the best costume. One judge asked me again if I was sure I was in the right line. I whispered in his ear, revealing my identity. He was amazed, saying I looked incredible and that he couldn't tell I wasn't a girl. His loud comment made me feel embarrassed. They announced that I had won the contest for the best costume. When asked to reveal my real name, I refused, apologizing but standing firm. I whispered to the judges that I had to return to school on Monday and didn't want anyone to discover my identity. If it meant forfeiting the award, so be it. Although the judges were unhappy with my decision, they agreed to keep me as the winner while respecting my anonymity. I knew it wouldn't be long before we would go home, and I had to ensure that nobody saw me leave with Monty. If they did, they might figure out who I really was, especially if they noticed me leaving with someone. So I discreetly made my way to the parking lot to wait for my mom. When she arrived, I remembered to sit down in the car first, then swing my legs inside just as she had taught me. My mom asked how it went, and I proudly told her I won first place. Monty got second place, and a classmate named Joe came in third. Once Monty got into the car, my mom instructed us to buckle up. We needed to pick up Michael and Brenda before heading home. I couldn't wait to get out of the dress and back into my boy clothes. My mom told me to wait for her upstairs so she could help me change. After getting into bed, I said my prayers as usual. Brenda came in to ask about my night. I shared the entire experience, including how I won without anyone knowing who I was. She asked why I didn't reveal my identity, and I explained that I had school on Monday and didn't want to be teased for the rest of my life by the boys or girls. Now it's Christmas time, and we're going to see Santa Claus. My sister Brenda says she's too old for that, and my brother Michael agrees. So my mom asks me and Monty if we want to go, and we both eagerly say yes. Even though Brenda doesn't join us, she secretly makes the same wish to Santa, unaware that her wish is about to be granted this Christmas. On Christmas morning, something unusual has happened to us boys. We wake up not realizing that we're wearing nightgowns and panties, and we have no memory of ever being boys. We now believe we have always been girls. Michael, now Michelle, and I, known as Martha, and Monty, now Melissa, are all living as girls. We all head to the bathroom together, except for Brenda, who has her own room. We slept in the same bedroom. After leaving our bedroom, we grab our robes from the closet and head downstairs, where we see our dad sitting by the Christmas tree, wishing us a Merry Christmas. Only Brenda remembers who we used to be. She's astonished, now surrounded by sisters with no more boys in the house. She's hesitant to ask any questions or disrupt what's happening. Suddenly, there's a knock at the front door. Our mom, puzzled by the early visitor, asks Brenda to answer it. Brenda opens the door to find Santa Claus. Initially, she thinks he's just a department store Santa, but then he looks at her and apologizes for being late with her Christmas present, hoping she likes it. He then asks Brenda if she still believes in him, to which she responds affirmatively, acknowledging him as the true and only Santa Claus. As Santa prepares to leave, he reaches into his bag and tells Brenda that her new sisters have always been her sisters since birth. From now on, she will only know them as her sisters. He sprinkles magic dust on her, wishing her a Merry Christmas before leaving. After returning inside the house, Brenda tells us it was just someone wishing us a Merry Christmas. That's what she remembers as his last words to her, and from then on, she believes she has always had 3 sisters. Everyone's memories have been changed. Brenda is the last to know that her brothers are now her sisters. However, when she met the real Santa Claus, even her memories changed. She no longer remembers anything about having brothers, firmly believing they have always been her sisters since birth. The miracle continues on Christmas Day. All of us, as new sisters, instinctively know how to act and behave as if we've been taught this all our lives. We all expect to have our menstrual cycles soon. Our mom prepares to talk to us about it, planning to provide birth control and arrange for us to see a gynecologist. She also plans to give us the talk about the facts of life, being a girl, and having serious relationships. We all grow up to be successful women, each with wonderful children we give birth to. We lead happy lives, and though we feel sad when our parents pass away, we continue to thrive in our jobs and personal lives, each owning our homes. None of us ever have the slightest thought of our past identities, and since we all give birth to our own children, no one can prove that we haven't always been women. Thanks for watching. Be sure to check out Patreon for a lot more content and early access to YouTube videos.